Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 8, number 9, number 8, one of the two. And we're going to be battling with scouts today. We brought the scouts to the gauntlet video that we made. We made this idea of playing kind of the same core across all of the decks. We're trying to use Stony suppressors and use Vanguard defenders to try and beat up on the Nardex, and it was kind of neat. The scouts just got banned every time, and so they have been pushing up to the top of the meta in all of the various meta reports you see. Scouts should be right at the top of the list, if not the best deck, one of the top ones in the format. And I had initially thought that this was going to be kind of the thing to where, like, if when you played Hearthstone, the new set would come out, you had to actually pay money for the Hearthstone cards, and so you would run into a lot of people just playing whatever the good aggro deck was from the previous format. And so I kind of suspected we would just be running into a lot of scouts and running into a lot of lurkers, just because people didn't have the new cards and because those decks were already tuned, and it's very easy to come out and climb with. But this is Runeterra and everything is so cheap. It's kind of odd for that to be a concept. And so I was kind of curious if scouts were just the real deal or if it was just, the best old deck. And I think it's definitely surpassed the best old deck thing into being a real deck out here. So with the difference from that deck into this one, I'm not playing the Vanguard Defenders anymore. I thought that was a nice experiment, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't strong enough. The Durand Sculptor fills kind of the same role, and she still gives tons more stats across the course of the game. And the things where you're doing like Durand Sculptor into the Petricite Broadwing, with the Broadwing then taking down your opponent's 3/3, leaving you a unit back behind. Just incredibly powerful line that you don't get to do with the Defender. And so the Defender is gone, traded in for the Sculptors. We still are playing the Stony Suppressors. I've been pretty happy with these across the course of the games. And then the other kind of bigger change is we took out the Vanguard Bannermen. And so the Bannermen are gone for some of these go wide kind of cards. And we've also taken out the things like Honored Lord and the Tattered Banner Maker. So that's where we're going to see the addition of Mariah Warden, Island Navigator, the full 3 of Brightsteel Protector, and the full 3 of Vanguard Sergeant. Just the kind of the changes that we made since the last one. Otherwise, you should be pretty familiar with the Scouts. They're still pretty good. But before we dive in, you all know what we have to do. We have to go and turn something premium. We do live what is called the pay-to-win lifestyle. We fully recognize that Riot has designed a pay-to-win game, and we're going to pay the pay-to-win price. And I unfortunately think pretty much everything is already premium. What do we got? Misfortune? Misfortune, Island Navigator, Quinn, or Cythria. All right, well, I'm going cheap. We're going to go with the Island Navigator. Just to protect the pocketbook a little bit, but man, as we continue to pay the price, we're just gonna run out of cards to premium. It's gonna it's gonna be a glorious day when all the cards are premium. Everyone says, "Whoa, Bust! I see why you're winning games. You just paid the price. The pay to win price has been has been met." All right, where are we starting now? Nightfall, cool. I've always been kind of like curious where the likes of Diana would stand in these kind of formats. Like I thought that Diana was spectacular picking on Bandle City. As we would, play her in Expedition, I thought that was a real highlight to her, especially since they upgraded her to get Challenger on Nightfall, so it just wasn't the singular quick attack challenge you got from her. So let's see what old blue is doing. Part of the blue man group. I blew myself today. That's a classic from the old Arrested Development. Oh, Tobias Funke. Delightful show. Got to go back and watch it again sometime. But not a bad start here. We should be able to come in and pick on their board. I wanted to slow this down just a little bit and see if we couldn't get some good Brightsteel Warden attacks in here. Or I'm sorry, Brightsteel Protectors, and it looks like we're going to be able to. Skitter, a little annoying, but we can still win the challenge onto the onlooker, and offer up a trade with the spider. No pale cascades today. You gotta pay the suppressor price, my dude. Nightfall is not a huge fan of that happening. I can assure you, as you're trying to chain off all of these spells, the Nightfall deck is not happy about the suppressor being down. I mean, I don't really want to play the Protector, but our board is like full enough at this point. I think this is fine. Right? We don't need to be in this space to where we're making like challenger protected attacks with the Fleet Feather trackers. We're ready to come in and just trade these things away at this point. Quinn is an interesting addition. I was intending on just playing the Mirai Warden, but this does a very similar thing. No stun Cloven Way. Cool. Boomed him. Boomed him real hard. He said, "Bust. That was not a premium Quinn you played there. How did you manage to beat me?" But we got it. We got it. That seemed like a fairly odd draw for Nightfall, though. They didn't hit any of their earlier plays. There were no Dianas, no Sky Shadows. Kind of a rough one. All right. Bring the Bandle Tree upon us. Oh, this isn't the Bandle Tree when they play Noxus. Just the old Tristana Swarm kind of thing. Alright, I'm looking to just go wide here with the Mirai Warden. I think so. I'm happy enough just to trade the bird into whatever he plays and then maybe use the Brightsteel to protect Quinn or something in the future. Okay. This, we got Draven right on top of our deck. Ah, we didn't draw Draven. We were supposed to. Loping Telescope, everyone's favorite card. Let's see what epic we can get destroyed by today that we should have played around but didn't. More Pokey Sticks, you got it. With this, like, I'm just looking to build up board. I'm not going to attack with the Draven's biggest fan. We'll attack with both Vanguard Sergeants, pretty much regardless of whatever he plays. I'm not going to, like, run Gnar into them or anything. Wow, that's big. This is absolutely fine to me. All right, so I do want to have like access to some of this mana, but like how much are we really gonna need going into next turn? I mean we have the Ranger's Resolve and the Sharp Sight. We can lead with like the Island Navigator, so we at least have Sharp Sight mana next turn. But are you fucking kidding me? Okay. All right, we hit the stupid Scrappy Bomb so we don't get the Quinn Bird now. He can kill something off and then we get the Quinn Bird, but this is a really awkward hit. Okay. Now Misfortune makes an appearance. She's pretty good here, but I think we need to just come in and be getting the kills. Is this where we want to start? Like, yeah, I don't think we can attack with Valor here. We get a good sharp sight on one of these units, but the Valor's a little weak. I don't approve of you going after Quinn. He's gonna do something lame. I can already tell. I can already tell. Here it comes. So do we want to play our own Ranger's Resolve? There's no real reason to at this point. So we'd say okay. We can probably find a better spot for it. We can just choose to not attack with Quinn here. Moon Silver. Uh-oh. Into a Golden Aegeus. Okay. That wasn't really on my radar of things to come in, but sure. So, like, we most certainly want to make an attack. I think we just attack with Draven's Biggest Fan. So we still get the tick up on the Quinn, but we don't have to worry about losing these units to his barrier. That's a pretty juicy Misfortune pickup. That was going to be a pretty good make it rain just to clear out that board. But all right. Nice little 2-0 start. Oh, looking at that, I got the New Year's resolution weight tracker updated down there at the bottom, rapidly approaching in on day number 69. Everyone knows that is the milestone day to hit, and so things are going good, right? We're at just lost a little over 10 pounds. I'm most certainly not a doctor, so don't take my word for it, but the kind of general consensus is a pound a week is generally what's fairly sustainable. We're right on the mark there. Kind of slipped up a little bit around Valentine's Day. We ended up doing 2 of them. We kind of did the well, Valentine's Day's coming up. We should probably go out to dinner kind of thing, and then we weren't really happy with that, and so we planned a second one a little bit better. But you got to go big for those kind of things, and certainly went big. We've caught back up from that. We're back to losing the old weights again. The quest to get back to 235. Rapidly approaching. All right, let's see what opponent does here. I'm not opposed to getting down the Stony Suppressor as quickly as we can. This is kind of an awkward space with him now adding Mountain Goat. But the Suppressor, very good at making their spells more expensive. And so as they're trying to load up the Saga Seeker with gems and stuff, having to pay the tax is quite nice, quite painful for them to have to pay. Okay. Now this is kind of tough. This is one of these spaces against the faded decks where I'm not like super sure how good I feel about things, and that we need to be like chunking the health down on this. If it gets up to being like a 10-10 overwhelm, there's just nothing we can do about it. But if we're able to just like spew a bunch of units into it over and over, they can be a little bit more manageable. It's just the problem here is the spewing units into it. We don't really have enough follow up for it yet. And so I think we need to play towards the width a little bit more and try to build up one of these strategies to where, right, you really have 2 choices in dealing with these fadeds. Do you want to just throw stats at it to try and eventually kill it? Or do you want to ignore it and hopefully be able to ignore it and then be able to just like hook it and then have the rest of your attacks be good? And I don't think we're quite in that space to where we can just come out and ignore it. We don't have any of the challengers. We don't have any like 4 Demacias in hand. It's a little bit tough for us to deal with. But it's like now we're at this kind of space to where if we aren't willing to come and attack into it, we're just never going to be able to take it down. This Petricite Broadwing is huge here, though. Coming down as a 5 health unit, that might be our ticket to our ticket to killing this thing, especially with the sharp sight mana ready to go. That could be the game breaker, my friends. Ship to 7. Perfect. Not perfect. I would have preferred. I would have preferred our unit to not die, but taking a huge investment off the board from opponent. But I mean, now we do have to deal with his Broadwing. He can put Yuumi on it. We don't have any great ways to stop it. Double Cithria is pretty strong though. Turns out well, I guess the Broadwing is pretty close to being able to block if he puts Yuumi on it. Let's see what they do. Goes with a sharp sight. Okay. Well, guess what, buddy? I'm going to show you what we're made of. Okay. He's real close to flipping. Real close. All right, let's see how awesome this can be. What did he hit? Overwhelm, Faded, Spell Shield, Fury, Challenger, Tough, Augment. Okay. Boom him for 8 and don't lose any units. It's about as good as we could hope for. He is going to be able to get a hook onto Cithria next turn before we're able to pop off a Golden Aegis. Or, I mean, it doesn't matter. We can Golden Aegis one and then he just hooks the other one. But a little unfortunate. At least he didn't hit Scout. Oh, we're going to lose all of our Cithrias. No, we can try and save one. They have a trick almost all the time. Oh, nice. Nice.
No prey, no pay.
Ugh. Well, at least he didn't take down our way to win the game. Misfortune isn't like super important at this stage. All right. Something go right. Come on, game. Okay, get him for 3. It's not enough. It's not enough, game. Maybe. We get to hook Pantheon with this. If he has any unit, then we're kind of hosed. No, we're not. We're still okay here. We can deliver a lethal, and sometimes that's all you can ask. I don't know why he's so. What? Oh, he overwhelmed us. Oh, fuck! That's stupid. That shouldn't count. I don't like that. I never realized that the Cataclysm things dealt overwhelm damage. That's one of the things I don't like. It's official. We had the opportunity to come in and win that one, right? Given the way he attacked, we could have hooked Pantheon with the bird, and then Cithria and the Durand would hit for 9. That's dumb. It's also one of the other things that pisses me off is you can with like stunned units. If being able to use like stuns and cataclysms and stuff, we'll just get over it. Just make some like grumbly ass noises and and call it a day. Damn. What's this Vi Riven? Got that big Risen Rider in hand. Man, we're gonna get boomed. I don't think I'm quite ready for the Broadwing. Let's just add the Vanguard Sergeant. And if we have to stall a turn, I guess it's okay. We need to be building up to like a big 4 Demacia anyways. This can be like slightly awkward. If he hits quick attack off of his fragment, then the attack with the Risen Rider is extremely good. But if we get to go wide on this board, whether it's with like Mirai Wardens or with Island Navigators, I feel pretty good about it. He's got 2 fragments now. I'm leaning towards this Island Navigator and then next turn using Misfortune plus Mirai Warden. Look out, I'm bringing my Dragon Chow. 0-3 incoming. I mean, it does have Scout. It's not completely irrelevant, but you can definitely do better, my dude. Okay, just do some not dying. He's most certainly going to get the Ribbon Sword next turn if we don't try and hook her down. So we'll get one shot at it, right? If we're going to drop the Misfortune, we can hook with the Broadwing and deal 4 damage. Gotta just see how they handle this. I'd say that they like most assuredly do not come out and block the Island Navigator with Riven. Okay. And we won't attack with Misfortune here. Things can go wrong. I don't know what kind of like Whirling Death style cards they play. They could certainly have one. They could have, you know, if he deals some damage to the Broadwing, that will also not kill Riven. But he had the Protect Me card. That's fine. She shouldn't be presenting lethal next turn. He has a quick attack fragment and then the sword. Oh. Oh, snap. Oh, she's going to flip up to 2 health at burst speed. I was like, oh man, if he plays the sword while she's only at 1 health and we get to pop her with the Make It Rain, shit's going to be choice. All right. Be like that, dude. So how do we feel about this? Coming in for 8. It's fairly ignorable. We can drop Cytherea just for the event that it's not, but I think it is. I mean, she's the biggest blocker that we have. Uh-oh. He's dropping motions. Oh, fuck. 10-12? We're just gonna get burnt out? Guess that was it. Well, I mean, we did... Well, I guess technically we didn't prevent every damage we could have. We could have made it rain that turn. Ambush, most certainly not on my radar, though. I guess maybe it should be, but not what I was expecting out of that one. Oh. That was kind of odd. That's one of those games as to where if we didn't have to take that hit on the from like it's just like the big strength and the 4 damage on the second turn. But, all right, let's see how we can move on here. Keep all the Broadwings and the Suppressor. See if we can't throw Gnar for a loop here with the Stony Suppressor bringing that magic. Doing them aggro things. Is this the one we want to hook in? The little one? We can't trade with the rear guard at this point, but I think that's okay. Once we get to having Misfortune on board, the Broadwing will be back to being relevant, and then yeah, he's played another 1 health unit that we could potentially take down.
Another day, another explosion.
This space is slightly awkward. I feel like we really need to be taking the Ziggs down. I mean, we can drop Misfortune. I think this is okay. We're gonna Misfortune, and then we're gonna Ranger's Resolve into the rear guard, take the Ziggs damage, and then we'll try and hook Ziggs down next turn with the Misfortune plus Broadwing. But we gotta be in here preventing this damage. He's gonna out aggro us and burn us out if we don't stop it. All right, here comes the Suppressor. He's ready to boom him, right? So who do we officially care more about? Are we going to care more about Gnar, or do we care more about Ziggs? And it's like, I don't think we can deal with a Mega Gnar. We can deal with the Ziggs sort of slowly, but the Mega Gnar is going to be too much. Still going to attack with Misfortune. This will be a trade if he wants to come in and block. So it doesn't feel like we're in the greatest space, but we do typically have a little bit better top end than them. This turn's going to be brutal, though. Maybe not as brutal as I anticipated. All right, he's got those cheap pokey sticks now, though. Down to 2 mana. We got to open with Genvivi here to protect our 1-healthers.
I'll defend these forests to the end.
Things might have turned around. Maybe. Just boom your own unit? Oh, that's scary. That's scary. I don't like seeing this angle come in. Oh, man, he's just going to burn us, isn't he? Pokey stick right to the face. Oh, God. We're going to get burnt out, aren't we? I don't know how to get around that. I feel like we prevented every damage we could this game. Does he just make factions? Or units? Multi-region follower. Okay. So how do we want to go about this? We can either go for Cythria, or we can go for the 2 units to the right. And the Cythria should be more damage. We can still technically play some of these next turn, but I don't want to fall into the space to where we die to a decimate. So I really just want to be open attacking next turn. And if we open with Cythria, say he manages to kill our Fleet Feather Tracker. Like we can Bright Steel the Tracker, play Misfortune. The next turn we hook the Vandal City Mayor with the Tracker. Then if he has another unit to block Genvivi, then we do 3, 6, 7, 8. So we'll be 1 short. Has to be Cythria. Okay. All right, maybe we're okay. Come in like this, be 6, 7, 8. God, it's like one short if he has a pokey stick for Cythria. Fuck. I hate this so much. Just gives him the opportunity to get a Decimate kill. I mean, if he had like the Decimate plus Noxus Blast or something, you would have just played it last turn. But this is ultimately pretty scary, giving them the opportunity here. Fuck. God damn it. It's 100% why I wanted to open. Yep. I mean, like the other place we would have landed though, if say we did open, oh sad face, and he had like a Noxus Blast. He did actually have the Pokey Stick there for the Cythria, but if he has like Noxus Blast or something, he could have Noxus Blasted down the Cythria to stop us from getting the lethal as well. All right though, didn't get boomed. Let's mark that one a W before it gets away, before it gets too far away from us. You gotta count that one on the Stony Suppressor doing her thing. Alright, incoming Bandle Trees. I think this is the Bandle Tree deck. I'm not a huge fan of these starts, as to where we have the Bright Steel Protector but no other units, and then it's like, if our first play is Vanguard Sergeant, then it's just too slow. We kind of lucked into the Suppressor here at the end of our draw. It says, oh shit, bust. The fuck is that? I better stop and read the Stony Suppressor. Oh shit, bust. Not the first time I've heard that. But I want to play all these spells. Alright, not bad. Getting a decent little board built up. Is he gonna drop a Poppy on us? Oh. Rip Jin Vivi. Alright, and I feel like we're a little... Well, we're not going to have the mana anyway, so I was going to say, thinking if we would want to play 4 Demacia this turn, I feel like we're a little far away from that. But this should be good. We should get potential for a good hook out of... Oh, Misfortune's going to get boomed by a Ravenous Flock. You fought valiantly, girl. But... yeah, the 4 Demacia wouldn't have been good enough this turn. But our board is looking pretty strong. We can add Cythria next turn and then follow up with Misfortune Vanguard Sergeant or something. Make it so all these little dum-dums can't block. We're going to put in all this work and he's going to say, hey, it's the Bandle Tree. Enjoy. Hope you have some fun with this one. Not exactly sure how I feel about the existence of the Bandle Tree. It's not one that I've sat around and babbled about to much extent. There's Coming from Magic, there was the card Battle of Wits, which, if you're not familiar with it, Magic has a variable deck size, right? You just have a deck minimum of 60, a maximum of however much you want to play. And Battle of Wits said that if you had 200 cards in your deck at the beginning of the turn, then you would win the game. And so it was actually competitively viable, and that was a gigantic mistake, in my opinion, for Wizards in ever printing a card like that could be competitively viable. And I mean, it was. It won Pro Tour qualifiers. Some people took it to like the Pro Tours as kind of like a meme, not a meme. It was certainly good enough to be done. And I think that cards like that should probably be on the edge of where they're not good enough. They're just not good enough to be competitively viable. And that's how I like kind of feel about the Bandle tree. I don't know how to fix it, but I don't think it's in a particularly healthy space. Oh, that was a silence onto Cythria. The fuck did that come from? Oh, our friend Loping Telescope pulled up the Equinox. I can't tell you how I feel about Loping Telescope. I do not like it.
My shield is yours.
But here, I think we need to just drop the Golden Aegis. We have to start trying to clear this board out. We unfortunately don't have the scout unit for Misfortune, but as far as this, it's at 8. Awesome. All right, let's see what we can do. I don't know if he's going to have to generate factions at this point or not to try and finish this off. But here come the damages. Let's see what we can do with this. He doesn't have to block all of it, but I assume he'll block some amount of it. Coming in for taking him to a nice neg 5. So he's down to 4.
Love ya.
So with an open, he's gonna block our big ones. And then he's still looking at basically has to deal with both the Vanguard Sergeant and the Bright Steel. Okay. No, adding 4 to Macy I don't feel like is going to be enough.
Shall we bully off? Mustache ready.
It is round start. Maybe it's just so tough, right? If he's able to add more units to the board, there's just not a ton that we can do about it. Maybe the thing, like I think we probably should have played Quinn. I did have in my head that this just ends the game as soon as it comes down, but we could have played Quinn, attacked, dealt the 1 damage with Misfortune, and then attacked again and dealt the 3 damage with Misfortune. I think that was the way to go about this game. Just I was busy thinking about Battle of Wits and the way that the Bandle tree works, and somehow this was just going to immediately kill us, but not the way it goes.
That's how we do things.
That would have been the way to do it, I do believe. Oh, trying to fix our record, not our weight. Hang on, let's get in here. All right, up to the old 4 and 2. Not bad, not bad. But yeah, the Battle of Wits, that was a real card for a while. None of the other alternate win conditions really had a place. Some of the don't lose game cards were always relevant. Worship was always relevant. That's the one to where you can't fall below 1 life. Platinum Angel has had ways to be relevant. That's the one that your opponents can't win the game and you can't lose the game. But just the outright win cards, to the best of my knowledge, Battle of Wits was the only one. And it wasn't so much of a big deal in terms of like card strength. The real problem with Battle of Wits came from it's you have to shuffle it. You play a fetch land and sack it, and then have to shuffle away your Battle of Wits. Then you have to sit there and just like legitimately shuffle a 250 card deck multiple times over and over again every game, and it was a bit of a logistical nightmare.
Discipline and steel.
So that's tough. That's like we'll see cards like Jay Madara turn up, and like just from my history, this is why cards like Jay Madara scare me. He's not like good now, right? He's the 4 mana 6/6 that when you target it or when he gets targeted, I don't remember the exact wording, you get to draw a card. And so that card is completely terrible until it's degenerate. And I don't know. I understand that you have to like appeal to different crowds in the game, and you know there's a lot of people in the casual crowd that would enjoy building around Jay Madara and trying to brew and get things going with him. But with a card like that, I feel like it's real all or nothing as to where it's just complete garbage or it's just completely degenerate. And at least in the digital land space, they can just go nerf it to where if you know Jay Madara was a paper card, you're just kind of stuck with him. Here, I think we have to prevent this damage. We just need time with this hand, and I think this is what'll help us buy it.
All right, let's get to work. A slight adjustment.
Says, "Oh shit, Bust playing them Stony Suppressors again. Look out, look out, it's coming."
Now that's a bit better.
Okay, so we can get a almost full board here, and then hopefully the 4 Demacias will be enough to help carry us through this. We're going to have to soak up some hits from the Tiny Dactyl, but we have good blocks on everything else. And the Durand Protector is going to start growing our units bigger than these Conchologists. We should just be able to get a good hook with the Fleet Feather Tracker, and then end the game with these 4 Demacias. Sure. That feels kinda good, right? The 3 mana Pokey Stick going to a unit instead of going to face. Kinda good.
I have my orders.
Like I want to do both Misfortune and the Golden Aegis this turn. I think we can lead with Misfortune. She can technically block one of these 2/2s if we want. And feel a little bit safer. And then hopefully this gets us into the space now to where like attacks with Pterodactyl aren't as scary. Turns out we could just block it if we got a barrier.
Curiosity's high ahead. I'll do better this time.
It's coming in. So Pokey Stick would be the only one, right, to pop the barrier on Misfortune. But like if we're gonna put 3 damage on the Pterodactyl, let's just do it with the Vanguard Sergeant. Here, get a block like this, block like this. Misfortune still survives this block to the left. Then if we're gonna be,
Stay still.
let's just take the 2. Okay. Oh, the fucking Yumi card. Wow. I guess we should have known to play around that one. I guess we should have known. That one's on me. We should have known that we should have been playing around the Yumi card.
Easy does it.
All right, so we've worn him down to just the teeny dactyl. Hopefully we can get something going. And needed a unit really bad. I think we're probably hosed this game, but next turn we will have the 11 mana to do. Oh, this is 12? Can't actually do these plays. Uh-oh. I can assure you that that's never good. That's never good.
Got a model for me?
Might. People still play Might? Apparently. Or did that one get generated? I can't see it there. I can't tell if that Might was made by Conchologist or not. But that's ultimately one of the more frustrating moments with that card. Like I get that Conchologist isn't as bad as Loping Telescope bringing up an epic that no one saw coming from anywhere. But those cards are just so frustrating, and it doesn't like wrestle my jimmies in the sense that he got like the one super weird ass card to kill our misfortune that would actually do it. It's just that the cards are so powerful outside of that as well, right? Having the 2/2 on the board was enough to actually come in and force a trade with our Durand Sculptor, or force a trade with these other things. Just can't wait for those to get nerfed into oblivion. Man, as we've played against so many Legion rearguards today, I'm curious if I do actually need to go back and switch into adding the another 1-drop to our repertoire here. It feels like we've been getting boomed real hard by these Legion rearguards today. Alright, hopefully things will turn around after that. I want to add the Sculptor. I want to just be like hanging out on this Sharp Sight mana for this foreseeable future. So we'll play you instead of the Misfortune. Let's get her down. If we're going to come in and make the Sharp Sight mana, we probably need to get the attack in with her. Could get a pretty choice Make It Rain, though, depending on what they drop on us. Probably be something pretty cool like Gnar. That's what's gonna be. Ancient Yeti. Alright, I approve of that. I approve of Ancient Yeti. Incoming Sharp Sight should be pretty obvious. Okay. Not excited about taking an Overwhelm hit from the Yeti. The Vanguard Sergeant was actually a very good draw.
A Demacian soldier is worth 10 foes.
Well, we got to deal with Gnar now. There's a lot going poorly with this attack in terms of the Pokey Stick coming in and being guaranteed to get Misfortune. But let's see what we can do. What do we think about just going ahead and blocking? Like, if he has a second Troll Chant, this is pretty abysmal. But if he only had the one Troll Chant, it's not as bad. He still makes this attack 100% of the time. Alright, he's got the Pokey Stick in hand. So our Quinn Bird's a little protected with the Sculptor on board. We'll see. We can pivot now if we want. We can actually. Bright Steel and Misfortune this turn if we want. Curious what opponent drops on us. Darius, that's a big unit. So he is, out of mana at this point. Like, what do we think in terms of, like, if we play Quinn, we hook Darius, we attack with Quinn, that gets in for 3, takes him to 16, and then we attack again, and we only hit for 8. So that's going to be too short. The upside to adding Quinn to a board like this is she can come in and block Darius, but I think we're going to just get to do that next turn. So I'm leaning towards just the bigger, wider board here. It's just ultimately what's going to happen next turn is he's going to play, another big overwhelm, and then he's going to have the full 10 damage Darius. Love seeing this. Do not care about losing the bird. I mean, I guess we do have 4 Demacia in hand, so if we need to if we need to fight through his damage, we can gain, essentially 6 health, a block onto one unit and then a block onto Darius. Let's see what he does. Rear guard. I'm a little suspicious. They don't play Sejuani, right? They can't play Tryndamere. Okay, let's play Quinn.
I gotta show you the sights of Bilgewater. The sights are fine. The smells.
Right, she has the 6 health we might need to prevent a bunch of damage here. Okay. And the only sad thing, why are you attacking with Darius on the left? That's a little odd.
You're easy to track. Stay still.
So if we fall to 6, where does that lead us? Can we kill with the open is the new question. To where we come in and we hook Darius with the Quinn bird? Falling to 3 is on the scarier side of things. But hang on, this is okay. The Quinn is up here as well, right? So we hook Darius with the Valor. If he answers 2 units, then he still takes 6 from Quinn and Misfortune. And then I guess if he has double Noxus Blast in hand, then you done boomed us. Guess this could be Brothers Bond. Brothers Bond would be not 100% disastrous. Well, it'd be a pretty big disaster if he has Brothers Bond here. He would have snapped it off if he had it, though.
Stalling, huh?
Troll Chant. Okay. This is what's going to boom them, isn't it? We're going to get the Stony Suppressor making all their spells expensive. That's how you do it. That's how you boom them.
Glory unrelenting.
Fresh out of mercy.
All right, here they come, my dude. Just to block down here. Has to answer 2 of our 3 attackers. I think did he play 2 troll chants this game? Okay, I'm getting my games confused as to the amount of troll chanting happening. Oh, he's got 2 cards. Fucking awesome. I mean, what more are you supposed to do? Gnar stun, and a Whirling Death. Okay. Can we still do anything here? We take him to 2? Well, I mean, we have the Golden Aegis, but he can still get through it. Right, we don't have enough. We don't have enough power on board to take down Darius. Fuck. Yep, that's gonna do it. Okay. All right, let's get one more in, and then we'll call it a day. It's just so much Gnar. It's one of the things. It's so much frustration for me playing against these. I know that like the meta is fairly wide open, but it's like the same 16 cards in so many of the decks. I guess the same 12 cards in a lot of these decks, as to where it's like, yes, it is like 8 different flavors of Gnar, but it's like every Gnar deck has Conchologist, every Gnar deck has Pokestick, and it's just something that's ultimately fairly frustrating for me. That's why I love playing Expedition so much. You get every deck and every, there are the good decks out there. You do have to run into a lot of, Demacia decks, but in general, the flavors of the decks are all pretty different. All right, on to this one, though. Let's get the Warden down. Sparring Student's one of the better ones we could have hit. Certainly not a 2/4, but he has a lot of potential to grow. And the Broadwing. Do we just let this happen? Like, we can add the Warden, but then he just gets to like push his hooks farther down. Okay. Oh shit! I didn't mean to pass there. We should have played one of our units. I was about to start talking about how the Stony Suppressor is a little weak in this matchup, but still wanted to play it. Why is he passing? Huh. Boomed him with the Suppressor, huh? All right. Well, that one was a little shorter than expected. So let's get one more game in. We'll play 10 and call it a day. But yeah, that's kind of one of the like the frustrating things I think running into Bandle City is all of the card generation. I think the cards are all overtuned, and then playing against Gnar over and over again is kind of unfortunate. And so it's just it like crushes a lot of the, well, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? In terms of a lot of the deck building gets kind of interesting in terms of knowing that you're going to have to run into Gnar so frequently, you get to kind of pick and choose some of the cards that you're running, right? That's why we're out here playing cards like Stony Suppressor, but it also just like aces so much deck building as to where it's like 1 health units are extremely, extremely challenging to play because every deck literally plays a value ping. Ooh. Almost spit my water all over the screen. Pretty sweet. Glad I held that one in. All right, up against the old lurkers. Really looking for our go wide units in this kind of matchup. Can't believe. I'm really curious what that scout guy's deck or his hand was like to where we play the suppressor and he just concedes. That's Maybe he just had a handful of like 6 drops, or he had some like spells or something in there. Like I don't know. That's wild to see that happen though. They just give up like that. All right, take down the good unit. If he had played like a non-lurker, then I would have been fairly okay with just letting the turn pass. Like if he plays the 2/1 that generates the spell, I'll usually let that one go. But I want to come down and take the unit while we can.
I sculpt what others only dream of.
Interesting. Why would you do that? You can't double lurk. I was going to talk about how awesome it was going to be to to have our 2 health fleet feather tracker come in and attack that guy, but it didn't come together. It didn't matter.
I don't want to meet whatever woke you up.
Yeah, that's a bit better.
You got any more plays? We won't hook the Chronomancer, but I will hook a Lurker. Alright, wear him down. So many Fleet Feather trackers. At least it's ready with Misfortune this time, so we can potentially pick on some 1 health units, but...
A slight adjustment.
Weird.
See what I've learned?
Okay.
No prey, no pay.
No pray, no pay. That's one of my big life sayings. So we're not going to attack with either the Suppressor or the Sculptor. I'm leaning towards just like going ahead and doing this.
Needs a finishing
Right? He can block with the 2/1, but it's just going to die. I guess he can play like a shaped stone kind of card, but that's not going to be enough to take down Misfortune. And then we'll follow up with all the health and then have this gigantic board for Cytherea to work her magic on. Expensive call to packs. I like it. I like it.
Every work demands a piece of ourselves. A little reinforcement at the seams.
All right. 1/5s ready for duty. Out here doing their thing. Hopefully that's enough to boom him next turn. If we get an open with Cytherea and then a Golden Aegeus.
Show them what we're made of.
Rip Misfortune. Man, all these desert units out here. It feels good. Out here in Kansas City, it was 80 degrees yesterday. I don't know if that's wild to anyone else out there, but but for us, that's fucking hot. Used to it. It's supposed to snow this weekend as well, and so yesterday was Wednesday for me. 80 degrees. Sunday, it's supposed to snow. Just make up your fucking mind, weather. Just make it up. Let me know if I can put my pants away. But all right, interesting addition in Quinn. The rally can just be like much better next turn. Like, because what happens, right? Say we open, he's going to kill one of our sculptors. That's not so bad. Right, because the big one here is this metal sculptor being a 3/4. So now we get to make the one trade and then Golden Aegeus and punch in again. Seems like a win. Is we could just wait until next turn since we're not going to lethal off of this one. Okay, I'm on board. Like a Golden Aegis Quinn seems really nice next turn. I think we probably got this one. It's down to one card. The Dunebreaker's not scary. Okay. I'm convinced, yo. Everything's okay. Also, in terms of bust life, I've been playing a game called Rogue Book. Just came out on Switch and Switch and I think it's on PlayStation, on Xbox. It just hit the consoles. It's apparently been out for about a year. It was oh, that's sad. It was a deck builder from Richard Garfield and the people that made Ferraria. And so I guess if you've ever played Ferraria, it would look very similar to that. But I've been having a pretty good time with it. Here we go. I mean, we just got to do this. Quinn doesn't die. We get the trade onto the thing. Fall to 1. Rek'Sai will run away. And we get the open kill next turn. But yeah, it's been good. Ferraria was one of those games I kind of looked at, but I didn't really take seriously. And I think this has like a lot of themes from that game, if it was something that you were into. And then it's like a kind of like a dual deck builder, as to where, like, if you're playing Slay the Spire, you have your singular deck. This has two separate units on your side, and they each have separate cards. Their deck gets merged together, and then it also has a lot with the positioning of your characters. They can swap back and forth, and that makes various different abilities happen and not happen, and it's been fun. I talked about making videos for games that weren't Runeterra, kind of having a bit of variety, and I'm looking to maybe start in with a little bit of that this upcoming weekend, and so that might be showing up in your near future. But that is going to do it for this battle. We can swing back to the frontier and talk about the deck if you want. Again, not tons of changes, not lots of really strange and out there things here. After this collection of games and the ones I've played earlier today, I'm not opposed to putting in something cheaper if we're going to be running into excessive amounts of like the Gnar burn decks, whether or not that is the standard Ziggs Gnar burn or the I don't know if someone made a video on Gnar overwhelms, where we saw with the Darius. I know the only ones that I really kind of frequent are the stuff that Dr. LOR posts, and I might have seen it from his most recent thing. But typically when we start seeing decks like that pop up, it's because like Mogwai made a video or Swim made a video or something. And that might have happened with the Gnar overwhelms. That was the Gnar with Darius. And so if those more aggressive burn-oriented Gnar decks start showing up, there's probably an argument for like cutting the Jin Vivi, probably cutting something like the Island Navigators, and then pushing towards having some of those 1-drops in the deck just to shut down some of those plays. But that's another matchup where I think I'm like surprisingly happy with the Stony Suppressor. If we can make them spend an extra like 3 or 4 mana on their burn package while we get to value block their 2/1s, that's fairly powerful. There's not a lot that we're really missing out on in the 2-drop space to add the Stony Suppressor in, and we are only playing 8 spells plus the 4 Demacias, and so that's why I've kind of been really interested in the Stony Suppressor. But as those decks perhaps become more popular, we'll have to look at just dropping the curve a little bit. I don't really like not having 1-drops when we're playing against those Legion Rearguard decks. And I feel like of our 4 losses today, like 3 of them were to Legion Rearguard decks. And so there's definitely something to it. If that's going to be like 30% of the meta, then we'll probably have to adjust. If the Gnar burn decks aren't as popular, then we can continue with this greedy build we have with only 3 1-drops in it. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for us today. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. You learned to scout it out a little bit better. maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.